Good morning, friends. If you are like me and cheap and don't want to spend $1 million on groceries because everyone in your house seems to eat like a full-grown man even when they are 2, I've had to get very creative in my cooking, and this pandemic has really helped me because I've discovered that I am a stress cooker. So I've been working on some different recipes and things that we could stretch because I was tired of spending so much on groceries, and turns out some of these meals have been really good, and when my 13-year-old approves of a meal, that usually means it's pretty good. So I wanted to share with you guys one of my go-tos, and the reason I love it is because this one meal, excuse me, hold on, we need a nanny. We need a nanny, hold on one sec. Anyway, like I was saying, come get your nanny. Come here. Say thank you. You're welcome. Anyway, this meal can be stretched into 3 meals, which I love. So originally I thought I should call this Super Sunday and Make Again Monday, but let's be real, this bad boy makes 3 meals. So I'm going to show you my famous pot roast that is super simple, really delicious. I actually created this recipe when we were doing WHOLE30, so for all you WHOLE30 friends out there, this is WHOLE30. Now, you can definitely add some things to it. We have a couple of options that make it where it won't be WHOLE30 anymore, but it still is in keto land for all of my keto friends. But we're going to be turning my pot roast into the second night I do another meal. Then I freeze it. A week later, I make the 3rd meal. So, but I'm going to share all of that with you. Okay, so here is what you need. We need a big old chuck pot roast. This one that I got, because I know people are going to ask me. This was 3 pounds, but honestly, it does not matter. I've made this where I've gotten 2 chuck roast, and because I knew we were going to eat a lot. But you do want to get kind of one that's on a bigger side, just especially since we're going to be stretching it for 3 meals. You need a large onion. You need a carton of chicken broth and 2 jars. This stuff is my favorite. This is Herdez roasted salsa verde. This right here is our magical ingredient. So, and WHOLE30 for those of you who are into that. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys how to do this. I promise it's super simple. Oh, wait, I forgot. Garlic. There, garlic. You need garlic. Okay, now let's get started. Okay, so the first thing that we are going to do is we need to cut little slits in this bad boy and shove some garlic in there. That recipe or that little tip is from my good friend Christine. She makes a mean debris sandwich, y'all. It's real good. Anyway, so we're going to put some garlic in this thing. Then we're going to put some salt, some pepper, sear it up, and then we're going to throw it in our crock pot. So, a little coffee break first, and then we'll get to it. All right, so first thing that we've got to do is we're going to be putting some garlic in this bad boy right here. Now, and honestly, guys, I know that people are going to be like, okay, exactly how many cloves? Exactly where do we put it? I don't know. Just however many you think you want. However, you know, I guess it also depends on if you like garlic. I love garlic, so I usually put quite a bit. Yeah. Hi, baby. Now, one of the other things. Hold on. Okay. Sorry about that, folks. My boss needed me. Anytime you're trying to get this little funkiness off of the garlic, our lovely paper here, I got this, maybe Pampered Chef, I can't remember. And it works great, because I mean, you just stick it in there and press down a little bit and roll. And then when it comes out, the little paper comes off easily. So it's awesome. But if you don't have one of these, I've also found in a pinch that if you have like a little silicone oven mitt, same deal. Just press and roll and everything comes off smoothly. See? So I'm gonna work on that and then we'll get to the next part. So I've got my garlic piled up over here and all I'm gonna do now is just cut some little slits in this guy. All right, so I'm just going to shove that garlic in there. Ooh, that's a fat guy. It's gonna be good. All right, so we got some garlic on that side. I'll put 2 more on this side just to share the love. All right, so now what we're going to do is just simply add some salt and pepper. Generously add some salt and pepper, and then we're going to get that skillet really, really hot and we're gonna sear it on both sides. Before we sear that meat, I'm gonna go ahead and cut this onion because I wanna have half of the onion sliced up and put at the bottom of my crock pot, and then I'm gonna actually rest my pot roast on that. So I'm just gonna cut this, and it really does not have to be any particular way. I'm kind of messy, so I'll do just big old chunks of the onion, and then because it doesn't have to be perfect. You kind of got a little theme going here. Nothing has to be perfect. Okay. So all I'm gonna do with my onion is just cut it into some chunks. All right, we've got our onion. Now I'm going to place half of my onion into the bottom of my crock pot. And then I'm gonna take 1 jar of this amazing stuff. Also a little tip, don't know if you know it, you hit the bottom of the jar, it helps you open it. So I'm gonna pour 1 jar of the Herdez salsa into the bottom of my crock pot. Now, it's time to sear up some meat. I have to turn this vent hood on just a little bit. By the way, my very favorite kitchen utensil are tongs. And I'm not joking you, I think I have 8 pairs. My husband seems to think it's a little excessive, but I love them. I mean, I use them for everything, and they're cheap. You can buy them at a restaurant supply place. Ours locally is called Lit, and they're so cheap, and I buy them, and we use them when we entertain and have people over. Remember that back in the day when we were able to have people over? Oh, soon, hopefully soon. All right, so I'm going to take this bad boy, stick them into this pan, and I always salt and pepper the one side first, and then I just wait and do the other side when it's in the pan. I don't know if that's right or not. I'm not real worried about it. But I put a lot of salt and pepper because this is the only time that I'm gonna add salt and pepper to the dish. I mean, you can always add more if you need it at the end, but I'm a big believer in just wait and see. All right, so So this is on high heat. All right. Put lots of salt and pepper, you get a really nice crust. All right, so I'm gonna let this sear, and I'm not gonna make you sit here and watch searing meat. So I'll let you know when I flip it. So I seared that side. Whoa. It's getting a little smoky in here. I seared that side for about 4 minutes. You can kind of just watch and see. Probably could have gone a little bit longer, but you know, I would say 5 minutes and you're good. So I do both sides, and then I like to hit the edges too before I throw it into my crock pot. Now, what's great about this meal is if you are doing Whole30, you can serve this over some cauliflower rice or even some mashed potatoes, you know, because you can do potatoes on Whole30. Or if you're doing keto, you can serve it over cauliflower rice and do a little bit of sour cream on it, which sounds crazy, but it makes it really creamy and yummy, and it's so good, so good. Got this guy seared up. I am going to take the rest of that onion that I cut up and put it on top of him. Then my last little jar of the Herdez salsa. And you have to get the roasted salsa verde. And I'm gonna be really mad if I try to go to my local store and they're sold out of my favorite salsa if everybody starts making this. I'm just kidding. Y'all go buy it. It's good. Good stuff. And they have all different kinds. And no, this is not a sponsored video. However, Herdez, you want to sponsor me? Hit me up, baby. I like your stuff. All right. Now, put that in there. Now this is the part that people are like, wait, what? But I like to put in chicken broth. And the reason I like chicken broth is because I feel like the beef broth is a little overpowering, and I feel like the chicken broth is like, I'm just here, man. Just keeping things moist. Just, you know, just hanging out. It doesn't alter the flavor. It just kind of combines nicely with everything. So I'm gonna pour this whole thing in here, which I know sounds like a lot considering, you know, we're trying to make this hot roast, but it's gonna, I promise, it's gonna cook down, and then this is going to be what helps us make the third little meal that will come out of this. So, lid on that. We're gonna cook this on low for the next 6 hours. Ooh, and then it's gonna be so good. All right, don't worry, I'm not gonna make you wait around for 6 hours. Okay, so we've got about an hour before this is done. So, bag of baby carrots. Going in. Oh my gosh, I wish there was a way for y'all to smell this. It smells so good, so good. Oh, it smells good. All right, I'm just gonna get some of my tongs and push these down in there. Okay, so just a little bit longer. And then the way that I'm going to serve this tonight, I actually am giving everybody the option for this meal tonight, because we are not doing Whole30 right now, nor are we keto right now. I've kind of given everybody the option of how they would like this served. So Corey and Owen are gonna have theirs in a baked potato, stuffed and filled with all sorts of goodness that's not good for you. And then I've decided I'm gonna have mine over a bed of rice. So it's really, really versatile. It's a great, easy meal. Another thing, when I'm making this for a party, so if we're gonna have a bunch of people over, a lot of times I'll do this for a taco night with friends, instead of doing a bunch of ground beef, I'll do this and then shred it up really finely and do like barbacoa style tacos, and they're amazing. Now when I do that, I don't actually add the chicken broth in because I don't want it to be too soupy. My rice is ready. So I will leave out the chicken broth when I do it for the tacos, and I'll just shred it up and leave it all in the crock pot. And then it's nice because there are still juices in there because of the fat that's rendered and the salsa, but also it's a little spicy. It's got a little kick to it, and it's really good. So, and any of you people who've come to my party, y'all can vouch for it in the comments below, because this was the beef that you were eating on the taco. Okay, so I'm going to finish up these potatoes, which I kind of cheat, especially, well, I cheat most of the time when it comes, if there's an easy way to do something, I'm gonna do it. So I microwaved my potatoes, and then I just take them out, put them in the pan, do some olive oil, a little sea salt, and then I throw them in the oven. So while my bread is finishing up, these will crisp up, and then it'll be like I, baked them for an hour. But I didn't have an hour. Well, really, I did have an hour. I'm lazy and didn't do it. So usually there are other things that I'm dealing with that I don't have time to think about whether or not I put potatoes in. So here's just a quick and easy way to make some potatoes yummy. By the way, the Sprouts extra virgin olive oil is my absolute favorite. Just thought I'd throw that out there. It's so good. It really, really is good. And it's cheap. Okay. The moment of truth. Here is our amazing pot roast, and it is just falling apart. Okay. So we have, well, I have two of the plates ready. Owen is a big fan of the loaded pot roast potato, so he has his with cheese and sour cream and chives. And then I went simple with just a bed of rice, pot roast, onions and carrots, and then poured some of that really yummy salsa that is now cooked down and delicious. So good. Alright guys, well that is meal one with this pot roast. Guys, got my favorite kitchen utensil here. So tonight, normally I'll make either tacos or quesadillas or burritos or whatever, or sometimes nachos. It's Mexican themed, regardless of how we make it, but they requested burritos tonight. So I'm not gonna go over all of the little details with that because y'all know how to heat up leftovers. I just throw it in the skillet, use my trusty tongs, heat that bad boy up. I have some leftover rice that I'm gonna put in there. We'll stuff that burrito with some cheese and some sour cream. And normally we do jalapenos, but we are out. So I have a few little tips that I'll show you, little tricks that I do. But for the most part, this part's gonna be pretty short because I'm not reinventing the wheel here. It's a burrito. It's not rocket science. Okay, so I'm gonna show you what we're gonna do next. So first off, this is my favorite brand. It's really, really good. So, and I just got the Burrito Grande. And the beauty of having a gas eye is that I can heat up my tortillas so that they aren't so floury. You know, when you get them just out of the store, they're a little floury. They don't quite taste like the ones that you get at the restaurant. It's because they need to be heated up a little bit. Some people like to heat theirs up in the oven. I like to put a little flame to mine. So anyway, this right here is a must for your tortillas. Get them nice and toasty. All right. Now let's assemble. Not a proper Memphis burrito without some ponchos, cheese dip on the side. And yes, folks, we eat this cold. I know, we're strange, but don't knock it till you try it, because it is so good. I'm telling you what, it is so good. All right, I'm gonna grab some chips, and he is all set. All right. Too many chips. I better take some of them. Okay. Yum, burrito. Now we're going to pretend like a whole other week has happened, but I'm really gonna make the soup the same night I make the burrito. It's okay. Because the point is I just want to show you how you can turn it into 3 meals. I just ran out of time and I gotta post this in like 2 days, so we gotta get cooking. So, you know, you could take this out like the day before and put it in your fridge and let it thaw, but that requires planning and, you know, all that stuff. And, well, not exactly what I did. So you get this instead. A giant beef icicle. What I'm gonna do, get that fire going so that bad boy will start to defrost. Okay, so at this point, see all that lovely fat on top of that? Yeah, we're gonna need to scrape that off. Otherwise, this entire stew is going to be a big greasy mess. So we're gonna cut that off. All right, so everything is simmering nicely now. So this is the part where we've got a ton of liquid in here because remember we added the chicken stock yesterday or a week ago, whenever it was that you made the pot roast. And so there's tons of liquid in here, and it also has that salsa, so it's got a nice spice to it. Now this is the part where you can add whatever it is that your family likes. I normally go green beans, make sure drained can of green beans. I do a drained can of diced tomatoes. Get out of there. Of course it doesn't want to go. And a bag of frozen lima beans. And I have the whole bag because we love lima beans. Including the baby. The baby loves lima beans. And then you're gonna do 1 can of tomato sauce. All right, now at this point, we're gonna see how the liquid situation is. Because I never know, just depends. If it looks like it's really, really thick and I want it a little bit more liquidy, I'm gonna add more chicken broth. If it's at the right consistency, then I'm just gonna leave it alone. And it can also depend on if you're like, ooh, I have a lot of people I have to feed. Add more chicken stock. It will be fine. All right, so I'm going to let this cook on low. This is actually pretty thick, so I'm gonna add a little bit more chicken stock to mine. But I'm gonna let this cook on low, 20 to 30 minutes. I'll check on it and just see how it's doing. sorry, this isn't one of those recipes where I'm like, and in exactly 10 minutes, it'll be perfect. You just kind of have to eyeball it. All right, so I'm gonna add a little bit more chicken stock to mine. I will show you guys how it looks in just a bit. And if you're wondering, I think I've used a little more than half of that carton of chicken stock. Because as this cooks, it's gonna cook down. So if it's the perfect consistency while you're cooking it, it's probably not going to be the perfect consistency when it's done. Because, you know, vegetables absorb liquid and evaporation happens and all that jazz. So. All right, so I'm gonna let this simmer. And while this is simmering, I'm gonna make some cornbread, but I'm not gonna bore you with that because I'll be honest, I'm using Jif and I'm gonna read the label, the directions on the back of the box. And I'm gonna do that and, you know, make some good old cornbread for this. Okay, I forgot to tell you, I did add a little salt and pepper, but I also added 3 bay leaves, like 1 big one and 2 small ones. I wish I could tell you why I added the bay leaves. I did it basically because my mom did. My mom always adds bay leaves to stews and I think maybe even like maybe her spaghetti sauce, which I don't like. Sorry, Mom, you know I don't like it. So I'm not like confessing something you never knew. Anyway, I don't know if bay leaves make it better. I don't know. I feel like this is something that when you get old, you just start adding bay leaves to things. But, you know, I could be wrong. So I added it. And I always add it. It smells so good. I'm telling you, we're gonna come out with like a smellitizer. You know, like Disney everything. Wherever you go, they're pumping out scents. Why can't YouTube do that? Okay, YouTube, this is my idea, so whenever y'all decide, I get a cut. Capiche? Okay, guys, it is done. And let's see. But it's so good. Okay, it's so hot, but so good. You'll have to try this. I'm telling you, it's so good. Don't worry, I'm not becoming a food channel. Just figured I would, you know, maybe once a month, once every 2 months, let you guys know what I'm cooking. So, hope you enjoyed it. Hope you will try these at home because they are good, I promise. I'm gonna go eat. But thank you guys for joining me and I hope you have a wonderful crafternoon.